का कानून है, इसको कोई रोक नहीं सकता, सबको नागरिकता मिलने वाली है।
सिटीजनशिप अमेंडमेंट एक्ट, संविधान संशोधन कानून किसी की भी नागरिकता छीनने के लिए नहीं, ये नागरिकता देने के लिए है।
Hello and welcome. You're watching Editor's Lens with me, Ina Sivaj. It is no secret that media plays a powerful role in shaping public perception and opinion. However, in recent years, we have witnessed a disturbing trend where Western media outlets have constantly portrayed India in a negative light, fueling false narratives and misinformation. The Indian government, irrespective of the policies it introduces, is often depicted in Western media as instilling a sense of fear and discrimination. One such instance is the coverage surrounding the CAA. Following the implementation by the Modi government on March 11, 2024, a section of local and international media has labelled the law as discriminatory, alleging that it excludes Muslims. Notably, Qatar-owned propaganda news outlet Al Jazeera has been at the forefront of perpetuating this narrative. Al Jazeera, known for its biased reporting, has relentlessly targeted India, portraying it as a country hostile towards Muslims. Even though the CAA does not mention Muslims and is aimed at providing citizenship to persecuted minorities from neighboring countries, Al Jazeera has branded it as anti-Muslim. Such misrepresentation and propaganda serve to further polarize opinions and undermine the truth. In the list of Western propaganda media outlets, the oldest name is BBC. Regardless of India's policies, BBC's agenda is constantly tinged with a resistant mindset aimed at misleading its audience. One of the reports of the CAA carried the headline, "India to enforce migrant law that excludes Muslims," showcasing its biased and anti-India stance. Similarly, another British media outlet, The Guardian, reported India enacts citizenship law criticized as discriminatory to Muslims, further perpetuating the narrative of discrimination against Muslims. Adding to the chorus of biased reporting, an SBS Australia report's headline read, "India moves to implement contentious anti-Muslim citizenship law," illustrating a clear agenda to paint India's actions in a negative light. Voice of America also joined the fray with a headline stating, "India announces steps to implement citizenship law that excludes Muslims," further amplifying the narrative of exclusion and discrimination. Labeling the Citizenship Amendment Act as anti-Muslim, discriminatory, and other derogatory terms by foreign media outlets indicates their agenda to tarnish India's image globally. Despite its primary objective of granting citizenship to persecuted Hindu, Sikh, Jain, Parsi, Buddhist, and Christian communities in India, it does not exclude Muslims. These media reports contribute to spreading fear among Indian Muslims, portraying the Modi government as anti-Muslim and even inciting opposition and violence. Union Home Minister Amit Shah addressed concerns regarding the exclusion of Rohingyas, primarily Muslims, from the CAA in 2019. He clarified that Rohingyas typically enter India illegally via Bangladesh, as India is not a signatory to refuge conventions. They are considered economic migrants seeking material benefits rather than persecuted minorities.
लाखों करोड़ों लोग पाकिस्तान से और बांग्लादेश से अपना धर्म बचाने के लिए, अपना सम्मान बचाने के लिए इस देश में आए, उनको नागरिकता नहीं मिलती थी। अपने ही देश में वो नागरिकता के बगैर अपमानित होते थे। नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने हिंदू, बौद्ध, जैन, ये सारे सिख, ये सारे लोगों को नागरिकता देकर उनका सम्मान करने का काम नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने किया।
India, not being a party to the 1951 Refugee Convention or 1967 Protocol, is not bound by international conventions. The Rohingyas' illegal entry into India from Bangladesh indicates their status as economic migrants rather than persecuted minorities. Despite this, over 40,000 illegal Rohingyas immigrants are estimated to be residing in India. The CAA protests, often internationalized, have been orchestrated under false pretenses, as the act has no implications for Indian Muslims. A report titled Analysis of Global Media Coverage of Events in India was recently published based on research conducted at the IIMC, Indian Institute of Mass Communication. In this report, journalist Amol Parth exposed the biased coverage by Western media on India's socio-political development. The study analyzed approximately 3,000 articles from international publications such as the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Magazine, the Guardian, and BBC. It found that the reporting on India in these publications is often based on false narratives rather than facts and figures. A sample study of around 500 headlines revealed that these publications tend to use negative and divisive words such as fear, hate, violence, riot, Hindu, Kashmir, cow, mob, and protest in their headlines. It is surprising to note that every 1 in 5 articles uses the term Hindu and Muslim in their headlines, indicating that these publications exploit India's sensitive features and jeopardize not only the peace and harmony within society and also India's international image, diplomatic relationships, and economic interests. The biased agenda of Western media against India has another significant reason: the massive English-speaking population in India. After the United States, India boasts the second largest English-speaking population in the world. This fact leads Western English publications to target Indian readership as India presents a lucrative market for them. Consequently, controversies or sensitive issues related to India are often sensationalized and exploited for headline-grabbing narratives by these publications. The Indian economy, recognized as one of the world's fastest growing, attracts attention from major industries, including media and social media. By capitalizing on sensationalism and catchy phrases, these media houses increase their business potential at the expense of journalistic integrity. Their biased and sensational coverage not only distorts facts but also amplifies human tragedies, all in the name of freedom of expression. In recent years, these publications have experienced exponential growth in their Indian readership. For instance, from March 2019 to March 2021, the New York Times witnessed a 22% growth in Indian market, while the BBC recorded a staggering 173% growth during the same period. Similarly, the Wall Street Journal's Indian readership contributed 2.6% to its global growth in March 2021, compared to 1.99% in 2019, indicating a doubling of growth rate. This trend persisted even during December 2019 amidst protests against the CAA in India. Behind the biased outlook of Western media towards India lies a significant reason: India's exceptional diversity. India is a mosaic of religion, linguistic, social, and cultural differences, presenting a plethora of unique challenges. Despite facing numerous past challenges, India has emerged over the past 75 years as a beacon of unity, democracy, high-level governance, and socio-economic development. Its unparalleled success story is a testament to its solid foothold in the international arena. Modern-day India is confidently establishing its solid foothold in the international arena through its growing economy, vibrant population, and progressive laws and policies. With its growth, India has become increasingly assertive in asserting its rights. India refuses to be swayed by anyone's dictates. However, India's narrative remains largely absent from Western media. While India rises as a financial powerhouse in Asia, the West is grappling with relative decline. The disparity in portrayal stems from this contrast where India's success story clashes with the West's challenges. Yet India's resilience and determination continues to shape its own narrative irrespective of external perceptions. Recently, Dr. Jaishankar remarked that Western media remains silent not because it doesn't see India's virtues, but because it doesn't want to acknowledge them.
Is that a problem? Why should it be a problem if I'm smart enough to have multiple options, you should be admiring me. You shouldn't be criticizing. Now, is that a problem for other people? I don't think so. I don't think so, certainly in this case and in that case, because look, we try to explain what are the different pulls and pressures which countries have. And it's very hard to have a unidimensional relationship. Now, again, different countries and different relationships have different histories.
The rise of India's global stature alongside China's hegemonic growth has created significant insecurity in the Western world order. The Western media's portrayal of India's image is not only biased but also unjustified. While disagreement and dissent are inherent in every democracy, it does not mean questioning India's unity, which is founded on diversity. These differences within Indian democracy only strengthen it further. India's definition of confidence is not based on what Western media thinks about it, but on its own perceptions. India cannot silence biased media, but it can present its true story to the world by strengthening its domestic media at a global level. Journalism has been touted as the fourth estate of democracy, and in a world filled with information bubbles, the media's role becomes even more relevant. The freedom of speech and expression inherent in the domestic system is its greatest asset. Therefore, it is imperative for the Western world, the major flag bearers of democracy, to follow the true spirit of freedom. Only then can democratic features flourish worldwide. Understanding how false narratives, agendas, and propaganda are pushed against India within Western media sheds light on the challenges India faces in the international discourse.